So I see videos every once in a while. I'm doing this. People are probably going to think I'm like crazy, but there is this fly that is never around until we film.
Really?
Yes, and then it comes around, and I'm like this.
I never noticed you doing that. Maybe I just thought
Well,
that
then
that was just you talking with your hand.
we say, well, then we have a different problem because that means going like this. It just seems normal.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and I am, as always, joined by my lovely co-host, Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we're talking about a 90s classic, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yay!
Before anybody says it was not a soap opera, yes, it was. It had a continuing story. It was a supernatural soap opera. Don't at me.
Well, I mean, Buffy and Angel's love story alone was very melodramatic. And yeah, just soapy goodness.
And it had Sarah
And,
Michelle Gellar in it, who was like a soap goddess. So,
and fair warning, I will probably say how much I love Sarah Michelle Gellar at least 100 times during this podcast.
you're gonna go on tangents
I
about your
love
love for
her. I love her. I still love her.
So, did you watch the show from like its premiere?
No, I know I watched episodes like the early seasons, like 2, 3, and 4. I watched here and there.
Okay.
Because I was still kind of young. I was still kind of wasn't even a preteen when I was 10 when it started.
Uh-huh.
So I watched episodes here and there, but season 5 was where I watched like pretty much all of it, and then season 6 and 7 I was there, didn't miss an episode.
That adds up actually with your Dawson's Creek timeline. Did you was the year 2000 the year you started watching shows regularly?
It was probably just around the time when I just realized that TV was my life. Started planning my nights around it.
What attracted you to Buffy? Did you always have an interest in vampires?
I've always loved supernatural kind of elements. I do, and I mean, like Sarah Michelle Gellar says in All My Children, she dealt with vampires before they were trendy. So
you were watching Passions before you even saw Buffy?
no, Passions didn't start till 19. Oh. Whoa! Now I'm like no, because I did watch season here and there because I quit Boy Scouts because it interfered with my Buffy schedule. But I didn't get to watch Buffy every Tuesday night.
Okay,
that kind of thing. Because I don't think I didn't have cable in my room. I don't think so. That made it a little bit more challenging.
Okay. I was 12 when Buffy came out, or I was just turning 12 because it came out in March and my birthday's in April. And I think it was the first show that I kind of openly was pushing the envelope, wasn't sure if I was going to be allowed to watch it, but we're just going to put it on. It came on after Seventh Heaven, I remember, because we actually used to my whole family used to gather and we would watch Seventh Heaven. And then I would kind of leave the TV on and just see if anybody made me change it. So I saw most of the first season when it aired. I think I missed 2 or 3 episodes because I remember not seeing them until they came out on DVD.
I know I didn't watch season 1 when it aired. And the only reason why I know I caught certain episodes in season 2 is I remember the Angel Buffy big love triangle thing. But also, you remember at one point during season 2, they changed nights too. So being a little kid.
At that point, I was already watching regularly, and it was a 2-night event. They had a 2-parter.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. So.
And that was actually because Dawson's Creek was premiering right after it when they switched nights.
But when the DVDs started coming out, I bought it the day it came. The day it came out.
Oh yeah. The first season DVD is the first box that I ever owned of a show.
Mine too. Like I remember going to the mall back when we had malls, and there was a store called FYE for your entertainment, and that's where I bought
We
it. And
still have an FYE.
we don't have one here in my town, but we have one in a town like an hour away, and just going in there just brings back memories.
Yeah, now FYE is kind of like a used DVD depot and like
Ours
I don't
is
know, like 90s nostalgia kind of.
the one in Hot Springs, Arkansas is pretty good. Like we go there. I
Really?
mean, we're willing to drive the hour and a half to go there for one thing. But that's where I bought my Buffy DVD, and I remember buying it. I remember not being able to wait till I got home to watch it because I'd never seen that season. And uh,
I think I specifically asked for a DVD player that year just so I could get the Buffy DVD, like the first season.
see, my first DVD I remember was the first Scary Movie and the Scream box set. That first box set they had.
Uh-huh.
That's what my first DVDs. I hadn't seen Scary Movie, so I didn't know what it was kind of like, but I knew it was like a parody of Scream, so that's why I wanted it.
I bought a bunch all at once as my first DVDs, and I don't really remember what all of them were, but I know one of them was A Walk to Remember.
Oh, I remember buying that one too. But back on topic, back to Buffy.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
I remember like I planned the Buffy releases, like they released like almost every 6 months when they first came out. So I could get one for my birthday in June and then get one for Christmas. And I was so excited when I was able like to be able to make, because I mean, I didn't have a job. I was a kid. So I had to be plan it out.
I was a little bit older than you. After the second season, I was already out of high school, like as far as the DVDs are concerned.
Oh.
But yeah, I planned it too. Like December and May or June, usually they came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I had been aware of Buffy because of the movie.
See, me too. I love the movie. However, I still to this day, I can't really watch the movie at night. Let me explain. Pee Wee Herman scares the crap out of me in that movie. And it has traumatized me since I was a kid. And now when I see him, I still get a little like,
Really?
Shut up. I don't know what happened. I mean, like Cordelia Chase would say, what is your childhood trauma? And I don't know what mine is.
Pee Wee Herman is your childhood trauma.
For that movie, I mean, I love that movie. I mean, one, Luke Perry's in it.
I didn't see it actually until after the show.
I think I saw it before the show.
I was always attracted to, like, I would go to the video store and see it, but I was a kid and it was like PG-13, so I wasn't allowed to watch that. But because I would see Luke Perry on the cover, and I was already sneak watching 90210, so I was like, oh, the guy from 90210 is in it. I want to see this movie so bad.
It blows my mind how this little gay boy in Arkansas could watch all the stuff that the kid in New York City couldn't watch. I'm like, you would think it'd be the other way around. Like I would be the shelter one. But
so yeah, so I was aware of Buffy. I didn't see it till it was like on TV, and I was already watching the television show. But around that time, that's when the internet was just becoming big, so I was already like researching everything I could on Buffy to get the backstory.
I had like episode lists printed off when I was trying to catch them. Like FX did a marathon, and I would try to tape them so that I could have them and watch them, the ones I'd missed. Yeah. I remember back in the day when we had to watch reruns.
I remember doing that with FX too, with 90210, Buffy. They were tricky though, because sometimes they would skip an episode.
Oh, I know. They did that to me in season 4 with the harsh light of day. It said I can remember this. I can't remember
because you were pissed.
It has stayed with me. And then I
remember trying to get all the episodes of 90210 recorded, and then they would skip like 2. And I'd be like, son of a bitch, I gotta wait till they like play all the seasons again and get back to the season.
Well, yeah, because when you have to record it on a VHS, if you miss one, you either have to fast forward enough to where you could record it so it's in the right place, or you'd have to
just get a new VHS.
Yeah. Oh man, it was hard being a TV addict back in the day.
Life was so hard.
I just there was just something about Buffy. That's probably why I love vampire. I mean, I'm like Sarah Michelle Gellar, loved vampires before they were trendy. I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say.
I mean, I've always liked vampires. It probably because of Buffy. I can't really
I mean,
remember.
I think that has to be the reason why I mean, the only other thing I can think about that had vampires was Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, but that
But
didn't
I
really
don't
do it for me. I like modern vampires. I don't like middle-aged vampires.
I think I've just always been intrigued with how cool it would be to be able to
Live
see all these
forever
different
and stay young.
times. Like, well, it's not that, but just being able to experience like all these different times, periods, and just how life was. So,
Yeah. So, what was your favorite episode of season one?
ooh, I love well, the finale. The finale is one of my favorites because she has this one line where it's, I may be dead, but I'm still pretty, which is more than I can say for you. I just love that. I look because they play the theme too. She's like walking and just, and you
And she's
know
like,
me,
"Oh, look, a bad guy."
yeah. And it's just it's those type of moments I just love. Oh, I eat them up.
I remember her hair because she had drowned, and so her hair was wet, and it looked like she just got out of the shower. And she was walking, and the theme was playing, and the way it was styled, it had like a very 80s feel to it, like the big hair and I don't know, and just like the rock music. I just got like an 80s vibe from that whole thing. But yeah, I love the finale.
I mean, in
The
terms of like
first season of Buffy was the tone that the movie was supposed to have.
yes, and then they wanted to try to make it one of those like blockbuster summer hit kind of movies, and that's why they tried to
Yeah,
turn it. Which I enjoy the movie. I know a lot of people don't. I enjoy the movie.
I do, and I kind of take bits and pieces of it as canon, and kind of like try to work it in my head that it makes sense. Like they say on the show that she burned down the gym, and I just kind of like like in my head say, "Oh, we didn't see that in the movie, but that's why they were driving off because she burned the gym down."
Yeah, it's almost like it's a little parallel universe where it's the same thing, but just a little bit different.
Yeah,
Um,
there's actually a comic book that was released
I have a few
like
of them.
of the movie, but like with
Oh, I don't have that.
the original script
Okay.
of like how Joss Whedon wanted it to be.
See, I have a lot of different Buffy books and I have a few VHSs. Like I was hardcore Buffy. Like I cut out the photos in the TV guide and I was it was all over my wall. Like
Um, I had the VHS. I may have thrown it out.
I just had the graduation episodes. Oh, and the pilot episode on VHS.
I had recorded the movie, but then I eventually bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I recently threw the VHS out because I'm like, I'm not gonna watch these. Like, I have the DVDs. I
You
actually
gotta just
have the DVD with
keep
the
it.
original cover with Christy Swanson holding the stake and Luke Perry behind her. I remember when they changed the cover, and I was like, that's not real. That's not the original.
No, Luke Perry has to be there. That was a disgrace to take him off the cover.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not the movie poster. That's fake.
But I will say
Um,
season one was in terms of season one, like very, very good. Well made, well
it
storylines
was
were
very Monster of the Week, which
that was yes.
even in later seasons is still a thing, but those are more like the filler episodes. But there was still like a season arc.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean
when
the
somebody
main
new is watching Buffy and I just want them to see the arc, I usually just say watch the 2 hour pilot, Angel, and the finale, and that's pretty much.
oh yeah. Yeah, they did have a lot of filler episodes in season one. Oh,
And
I
by
do like
Angel, I mean the episode Angel where you find out he's a vampire.
the episode with the invisible girl. That's probably one
Please
of
of
my
all.
yeah, that's one of my favorite ones in season one, besides the finale.
I like The Witch, the third
Oh,
episode.
never mind. I take that back. I take that back. I love The Witch because one, I love cheerleaders. Because I always want. I think I was supposed to be a cheerleader.
I
If I
think so
would,
too.
if I wouldn't have been a little boy in Arkansas where it was frowned upon, or people made fun of you at football games, I probably would have been a cheerleader. Even my cousins say that. They're like, "You would have been a good cheerleader." I was like, "I think so too."
I mean,
Sorry,
based on this and your Ravens from One Tree Hill love, I just feel like maybe you should have been a cheerleader.
I would have probably totally been the Brooke Davis kind of cheerleader because I wouldn't have been the Peyton kind because she's moody, and I don't feel like I'm that moody. Or I probably would have been like a Haley where I got thrown into just okay. But back to Buffy. But I just I love the
um,
witch. The witch. That's why I say I take that back. The witch
I
is
like the
probably.
pack also with the hyenas
eh,
possession.
I'm not a huge like Xander's not one of my favorite characters, and that was very Xander heavy. So
Yeah, but I like that he kind of became edgy.
oh,
And yeah, he kind of tried to rape Buffy, but she handled it. She handled it. She hit him with a desk.
I forgot
Do
about
you
that.
remember that line?
Mm-mm.
He was like unconscious and she was dragging him, and she was like, she said that she basically implied that he tried to rape her, and they're like, "Oh no, what happened?" She's like, "I hit him," and they're like, "With what?" She's like, "A desk."
He was possessed though, right? That's
Yes, but and then he tried
so.
to pretend like he didn't remember anything, and then Giles was like, "It's funny, I didn't read anything about memory loss," and he's like, "Do they know that?"
So,
um,
um, but while season one is good, season two they like took it up a notch. There's so
yeah,
much about season two I just love. Oh, but hang on,
season two. Go ahead.
season one, I love the little fake out with the you think he's going to be a friend and then he ends up becoming a vampire. Xander's friend, can't remember his
Jesse,
name. Jesse,
Jesse,
that's it.
yeah.
I thought that was a good way to like that was like that was no one was expecting it.
So I don't really want to go on another tangent, but I have to. Um,
You and your
have you
tangent.
ever heard of the show Haven that was on Sci-Fi?
Yes, he was in it.
Yes. So Greg and I, during the pandemic, we watched the whole series of Haven on Netflix. And then I was like, "You have to watch Buffy. You have to watch Buffy." And he finally gave in and was watching Buffy. And I tried to trick him into thinking that he was going to be a regular on Buffy, and he just was like unaffected by the fact that he was a vampire.
Oh, I remember first. I remember watching the episode, going, "Wait, who is this?" Like, because I hadn't seen that first season at the time, so I remember putting in the DVD, watching it, going, "Who's this random fool who acts like he's one of their best friends?" I mean, he's not in the rest of the series, and then it's like, he dies. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's why."
Have
little
you ever
kid, little
seen
Aaron was very shocked.
Have you ever seen the original pilot when there was a different Willow and Sarah still had her brown hair, her brunette
No,
hair?
no, I haven't seen it. I've seen pictures from. Wait, no, I may have because it was just a short little like pilot presentation, wasn't it? It wasn't even a full episode.
No, it was like 25 minutes maybe.
Okay, I think I've seen it. I mean, it's
Maybe a
pretty much
half
short.
hour. It wasn't like a 45-minute episode, but it was 25, maybe 30 minutes.
Whoever made the decision to recast, great decision because I can't imagine anyone else being Willow. But
I don't even remember if Cordelia was in the original pilot.
yeah, yeah.
She was?
Because remember, Sarah Michelle Gellar tried out for Cordelia's part. Cordelia tried
Oh.
out for Sarah Michelle Gellar's part, and they were like, "Y'all do
It's
better."
been so long since I watched it. I used to have it, but I don't know. I lost it. I could probably find it if I try real hard. um, there's another episode I like in season one.
I know. Look, we went on to season two, and then I had a moment where I was like, "I had no,"
You have to
and then
rewind.
and now we're like rewind.
um, I don't like the praying mantis episode. I think it's gross,
Oh, yeah,
but that's
yeah.
also a Xander heavy episode.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the robot episode with Willow, with
Okay.
Malik.
With the
I like the concept of him being on the internet and being able to control everything. I thought that was cool. And we meet Jenny Calendar in that episode.
this calendar.
You're like mourning her already. We haven't even talked about it. um, yeah, season 1 was good.
But season 2 was better. And going to season, I like the first episode back was I just Sarah Michelle Gellar can make an entrance. I don't know what it is. She
I
had
mentioned this before, but that was her I Know What You Did Last Summer hair in the premiere
and
because they
she
chopped it
rocked
off.
it. She rocked it. I mean, this is really making me want to go watch Buffy tonight. So I have homework of watching Knox Landing. But I really like just season 2 is it's probably one of my crap. They're all my favorite seasons. Season 7 is the one that's my least favorite, but
I remember in the premiere of the second season when Buffy's like going through her issues and she's
yeah,
being mean to everybody, and she kind of confronts Angel and she's like, "Come on, kick my ass." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she said ass." I was like, "They're cursing on Buffy now."
I'm trying my favorite episode from season 2. I don't know that we don't have a plan of how we're talking about this, everyone. We're
We
just
never have a plan.
that's true, but whatever.
The
I
jig is
love
up. We never know what we're doing.
they're like, we know. We can tell. I love the judge episode when they're in the mall and they're putting it they're like, there's no weapon that can defeat me. She's like,
Well, that was the 2-part episode that
where
set up the new night for the WB when Dawson's Creek came out.
I just love when she gets that. Was it a bazooka? Is that what it like?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure what it was called. I don't know much about weapons. And she's just like, and then
Well, he was like, "No weapon forge could stop me," and she was like, "That was done. This is now."
and then like Darla and Angel's like, not Darla, Drusilla and Angel's like, whoa. It was just, I don't know. It was one of those slow motion things. I love when she goes and she fights with Angel and she's like, he's like, you can't kill me. She's like, give me time after, kneeing him in the balls.
That 2-parter was around when Willow found out about Cordelia and Xander sneaking around. How'd you feel about them as a couple? Cordelia and Xander.
They were.
I liked them.
They worked, and I liked them, but I didn't. I guess
I was very upset when they broke up in season 3.
Okay, see, that's like the whole him cheat, like kind of kissing Willow and all that. I didn't care for just. I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. I like them as a couple. I will say that because I feel like they balanced each other out.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably really the only way to get Cordelia in the group with it being natural, because her friends were kind of just like, oh, you're dating a nerd. Ew. So,
yeah. Well, she was kind of in the group because Buffy helped her out with the Invisible Girl in season 1.
Yeah, but she still was kind of. I'll speak. Sorry, see these random Buffy things pop in my head. Right? The episode where everyone falls in love with Xander with the love potion spell. I love
that episode.
It is so funny how, because doesn't everyone fall in love with him but Cordelia?
Yeah.
Even Buffy's mom. But just that episode was so fun. Oh, season 2 had some really good episodes.
I love because Buffy gets turned into a rat.
Yes.
Because Sarah Michelle Gellar was hosting Saturday Night Live that week, so they had to like.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Time. Yeah.
Okay.
So they had to limit her screen time.
See, I know things like that when it comes to Scooby Doo. Like when you don't see her face at the very beginning, it's because she was filming Buffy, so she had to.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like at the very beginning, when you only see her backside, it was because she was still on Buffy.
I don't remember Scooby Doo like you do.
Well, that's because anything Sarah is in is a masterpiece in my eyes.
I'm a bigger fan of her TV work than her movie work, her film work.
I should have called. Right. I'm just gonna let that fly. But the thing I liked a lot about season 2 was the Buffy and Angel thing. They had good chemistry, and it's sucks that they couldn't like that chemistry. I feel like they were just kind of, oh no, you can't sleep together. Or he loses his soul. And then
We talked about it in the Cruel Intentions pilot episode. How the 90s was very much about abstinence, and so this is very much like sex is bad. You'll lose your soul if you have sex. You'll get pregnant and die.
it's like if you have sex, you'll
And then
turn
in the
him
Cruel Intentions pilot,
into.
it's like masturbation's great.
So,
So is oral sex.
but I will say, Evil Angel kind of liked him. I mean, not the things he did, of course, but just he played that. Oh, he played that part well.
No, once Spike came into the picture, it was over for me and Angel.
Oh, so you were like hardcore Spike fan then?
I have a type.
That fly is just.
And even though he was bleach blonde, I was getting a very Luke Perry vibe from him, like his bone structure.
And his
Like,
name
he was
was
a bad
really
boy.
close to Pike. Spike.
Spike, yeah.
After they got off that motorcycle and the gym burned down, Pike went and became a vampire.
I always hoped that they would somehow write Pike into the show.
I was too. I was really hoping for that.
And it just never happened.
What a shame too.
Like even in season 2, she had a friend from her old school, the one that was in Roswell, came to visit her.
Jason.
And I'm like, if they could do that, where's Pike?
It's true. That actor was all over the WB. Dawson's Creek, Buffy, before he got on Roswell. Okay, this fly in my dining room is about to drive me crazy. That's why I'm gonna have to bring attention to it so people don't think, what's he doing?
I also like the 2-parter where we meet Kendra.
Oh, I like that too, because it really throws you for a loop. Like when Buffy's like, well, I was only dead for a second.
Yeah, because we knew Buffy died, but I guess because so many episodes had gone by at that point, it was like the middle of season 2 now.
Well, and
that's at least 6 to 8 months. I think
back to
everybody
life.
kind of forgot that there the possibility that there could be another Slayer. So when she said she was the Vampire Slayer, I was like,
well, it's too, because you're like, oh well, Buffy came back. You're with Buffy. You're like, well, she wasn't dead long, but you're like, well, no, the prophecy is.
That's the episode that me and Greg got up to, and he fell asleep, and he tried to pretend like he didn't fall asleep, and he was into it, and I was like, what happened then?
You're like, here's a pop quiz.
He's like, she fought the girl, and I was like, you don't even know what happened. You missed an important episode. You don't even like the show. And we haven't watched it since. But he said, no, I like Buffy, so maybe we'll go back to it.
See, that's another actress. She was on Dawson's Creek too. She played the principal's daughter.
I've seen her in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's also still playing she was playing a teenager on Buffy and then went to Pretty Little Liars and still playing a teenager. I was like,
I know her from Saved by the Bell when she was like 12.
I don't remember that.
She was on the New Class.
Okay. I didn't watch a lot of that. I watched parts of it.
Yeah. Dawson's Creek. She's on Pretty Little Liars.
I just mentioned that. I guess you were listening.
Like 20 years later, still playing a teenager.
I was like, man, I wish I aged like she did. But she's like Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union still does high school shows.
Yes. Still, they both gorgeous. My favorite episode, I'm just going to segue into that, is the 2-parter ending, Becoming. And I think it's because I love the fight scene, and then her stopping the knife there. I love the song that plays as she's going on it. Like I listen to the song still to this day. If I'm in like
the Sarah McLachlan song,
I think so.
At the end,
yeah. Because if I'm ever like feeling down, I'll play that, because that song will like bring you way down, and then it gets those bad feelings out.
They played that song in the first season of Dawson's Creek, but I didn't see that till years later.
Oh,
And so it would bring me back to the Buffy episode, and I was like, this is weird to hear that song in a different context. My favorite episode, season 2. I love the episode where Spike comes to town and they like ambush the parent teacher night.
Oh,
Um, we already mentioned the spell that Xander did to make everybody, well, to make Cordelia fall in love with him, but all the women fell in love with him.
I do like that.
Even Drusilla.
Oh, that's right. Like that was a powerful spell. It's making the dead fall for you. The episode of John Ritter where he plays a robot.
Oh, I hate that episode.
Really? I thought it was like. I like John Ritter though.
I like John Ritter. I just hated that episode.
Okay. I mean, I could. Fair point.
I actually feel like it's universally panned as one of the worst episodes of Buffy.
Really?
Yeah, that, I think Bad Eggs, the one with the...
Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but...
See, that's how I went with the John Ritter one.
And Double Meat Palace. Do you know what episode I'm talking about?
Yes, but some of these episodes are the ones I like. Like that was the thing about, well, we haven't got to, I won't go there yet, so because we're still season 2. I don't know. I think season 2 was just like really the season that took Buffy to the next, like, really took it to the next level.
Oh, I really like the Sadie Hawkins dance episode where the teacher and the student were having the affair kill each other, or he kills her, and they keep reenacting it by possessing people.
Yeah, oh, that was a good
And how the genders switched, and Buffy was possessed by the student, the male student.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kissed, but Angel was evil at the time, so when they were unpossessed, he was like disgusted that they were kissing. I was like, wow, we need to turn the knife in her heart.
No, poor Buffy. Poor Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I also kind of like the episode where she's sick and she's in the hospital.
Ooh, mm-hmm.
That demon gives me Freddy Krueger vibes for some reason. Even though he doesn't have like the scissor hands, just like his makeup for some reason, it reminds me of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that being creepy.
It still creeps me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked season 2 until season 3. Season 3 is my favorite.
I love me some season 3. It starts. Is there anything I don't love about Sarah Michelle Gellar or this show? I mean, people are probably like, "Is there anything you don't love?"
It's like as we move on, you're like, "Oh, I love this too." Oh, I love this too.
You're bringing back all these memories that I haven't had in so long because I love her being Anne and then go. You know, I love anytime Sarah Michelle Gellar kicks some ass.
Speaking
I love
of
it.
Anne, there's an episode that episode. There's a quote that I still quote it, and I use it out of context, but it always makes me laugh. When she's like annoyed that there's like supernatural stuff going on, she's like, I just want to be left alone, home alone with a tea cozy. I don't even know what a tea cozy is, but I want one. I'll randomly say that, and I don't know why. It just cracks me up.
I did the same thing with Tu Wong Fu. You know when they tear up the map.
Oh, I quote that movie too. I'm always like, I have more legs than a bucket of chicken.
Oh well, no, I'm talking. If I go over like a little bump or something, I have to turn. I'm like, BAPs are cheating.
I used to say you're my knight in shining pickup truck from that movie.
That'll be a whole other episode.
I was trying to think if there's anybody from Buffy in that movie to tie it back, but no.
No. I tried.
You tried.
I was like, no, damn.
Oh, were you shocked? Rewind a little bit. That they killed Kendra off in the season 2 finale, in the 2-parter. Were you sad that they killed Kendra off?
Well, they didn't give me time to really like her. Well, no, wait, yeah, they did. Wait, what am I saying? Mm-hmm. I remember when she first came on, I didn't like. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna like this girl," but she was giving Sarah Michelle Gellar some grief, so you know, of course. But when they killed her off, I was kind of, yeah, I was kind of sad.
I mean, she was only in 3 episodes. One episode we thought she was a bounty hunter until the end.
But she
So we
did
really only got the second part to get to know her, and then she left town.
she did
And then
bring
she
Mr.
came back and she died
Pointy.
at the end of that episode.
She brought Mr. Pointy along, which was
Oh, Mr. Pointy.
see, like we're saying it's a stick. We're like, oh, Mr. Pointy. So yeah.
I liked in the season 2 finale how Spike and Buffy teamed up.
Ooh, mm-hmm.
And during that fight scene that you mentioned, when he was like, "Oh God, he's gonna kill her," and he's just like, "Well."
Spike can have the best reactions to things, like just his "I don't care" attitude. He just wanted Drusilla. That's all he wanted. Which I mean, I don't know why, because it's not. Oh, never mind. I like Drusilla, but not like how Drusilla Angel Spike thing.
I like Drusilla more on a rewatch, and I actually prefer her on Angel, the spinoff.
I was gonna say I like her. I like Darla better on Angel too.
She's darker on the spinoff, and so is Darla. Spoiler alert: Darla is not dead, and she comes back, and eventually dies. But maybe we'll do an Angel episode, and we'll talk about that.
The whole thing I loved about Angel was Cordelia. Not gonna lie. Oh, and the hotel. The hotel was one of my favorite sets.
Okay, I said maybe we'll do an Angel episode.
You got me going. Can't help it. But we're on season 3.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I loved about season 3. I loved Sarah Michelle Gellar's hair. I liked Willow's new haircut. I liked the colors that they used for that season, like with the costumes. Faith. I love that whole story arc.
Oh, Faith. I love her too. I followed her on every short little TV show she was on.
I didn't actually. I never watched True Calling.
You never watched True Calling? Oh,
I think I saw 1 or 2 episodes of Dollhouse, but I didn't really.
Dollhouse wasn't my fave, but I felt like Dollhouse tried to be complicated for the sake of being complicated, but it had her in it. So
did it have 2 seasons?
Yeah.
She seems to be a 2-season show kind of girl.
Yeah.
True Calling.
It was 2 seasons, but season 2 only had 6 episodes. So is that really a season?
Really?
Yeah. Trust me, I watched it. Still irritated about it if you can't sense the tone.
Oh.
Which is why Fox, during that time, I was like very just almost wrote letters to Fox because I was like, you cancel Point Calling, True, or Point Pleasant, True Calling, Wonder Falls, Reunion, like all they didn't give these shows time. And I remember being pissed.
Point Pleasant was the show with Grant Shaw, where he was the devil.
Yes. That was a very soap opera show.
I don't really remember it, but it came on after the OC, so they would just leave it on. But I don't really remember the show too well. Maybe I'll find it.
I have it on DVD.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Ooh, official.
I'm so official. This fly has caused my face to itch. So if you see me scratching people, that is why.
We didn't talk about the fact that Jenny Calendar was murdered. We were like, "Oh, Jenny," and then we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, well, by the time she died, you didn't really care. So we're on season 3 now, which I love. So let's stay there because I love the homecoming episode where they think Cordelia is Faith and they kidnap Buffy and her. And when she pulls out the spatula.
Yeah.
Oh, Cordelia. There's a time when I was going to name my first daughter Cordelia if I had one. Well,
Really?
I was afraid to name something Buffy because I named a cat Buffy as a kitten and it didn't survive. So it
Um,
made me. I was like, "What is everything? Let Buffy die?" It was so sad. Broke my heart. So,
so you weren't a fan of Willow and Xander kissing? No.
or playing footsie in the classroom.
Were
Which
you a
at
fan
this
of
point,
Willow and Oz?
at this point, I already knew they were. She was, with Tara, and I really liked Tara.
Um,
So rewatching it, I was like, "Can we just get her with Tara already? Come on,"
really?
because I love them two together.
I think Greg likes Willow and Oz. Well, he likes Seth Green, so
I mean, I like Seth Green. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Seth Green are like really good friends in real life, which is
yes, which I didn't think was too weird, but then like when they post stuff from like high school and stuff, I'm like, wow.
you're like, whoa, uh-huh.
It's just like I'm always like I know that they're friends, but I'm just like so shocked that her and Shannon Doherty are like best friends.
Oh, yeah, no, same thing. I remember being shocked when I was like, oh, they're best
And
friends.
her and Selma Blair, but I'm less shocked about that one.
I don't know. She seems like she'd be friends with Selma
Yeah.
Blair. So, but that's the Homecoming episode's one of my favorites. I love Band Candy because I like Giles and Joyce
Oh yeah.
getting together. That was so much fun. Um, Mr. What's his name? He worked for the mayor, the
Mr. Trek.
vampire, Mr. Trick. I liked him. I thought he was fun when he's like
Mhm.
Slayer Fest 98 or 99 or whatever year it was.
Yeah.
I think it was 99. I just
Yeah.
I liked him too when he pulls that drive-through guy through the. Oh,
You know what episode I don't really like from season 3? The Christmas episode.
is that the one that's called Amends?
It's the episode where Buffy has the weird bangs. Yeah, amends.
I almost thought I loved everything about Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I remember those bangs.
They give them to her again in a season 4 for
See,
some reason.
I forgot about them, but it took me forever to get used to Gail Weathers' bangs in Scream 3 to where
They're almost as bad as Gail Weathers' bangs.
I don't hate them anymore.
Oh, I watched Scream 3 recently. Still hate them. I still hate them.
I don't. I don't know what happened. I was like, oh, my gay card must be going away. Must be low. No, I was like, the bangs don't look that bad. And I'm like,
You better eat some Skittles, get some rainbow in you.
I remember Sarah Michelle Gellar's bangs there, and I remember going, ooh. I want to be like, girl, did you make someone mad?
Yeah. So I don't really like that episode. It was nice to see Jenny again, but that's actually how we meet the first evil that
Oh,
becomes
that's
the big bad for season
right.
7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know how they were expected us to remember that.
Oh yeah, because I totally forgot about it when I was like the first. We have met the first before,
Hmm.
really? And then so
I like the episode where Faith thinks she's like tricked Buffy, like she's double crossed her, and she thinks that her and Angel are together. She thinks that she made Angel lose his soul, and that she has Buffy chained up, and Buffy's like, "Psych."
I love them two going at it was so much fun.
They had the best fights.
Yes, I mean, and like their dialogue between each other were just so like it was wonderful. Not that I want women to not get along or anything, but they had like just.
So you watched season 3 after the fact. Like you saw some episodes, but you didn't really watch the whole
Yeah,
season.
I didn't like watch a full season.
So season 3, there was 2 episodes that were postponed due to the content. It was Earshot because one of the students was that she could hear their thoughts.
So they were going to kill.
So they were going to shoot the school up, and that was around the time that Columbine happened. And then part 2 of the finale was delayed also. Because they blew up the school.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
I remember hearing about those things, but I
remember when we
didn't
finally
watch it
got to see the
live.
episodes, they like aired that September, like right before season 4 started. But I kind of saw parts of the finale
Mhm.
in my first illegal download back in 1999.
Back
back in
then,
like
back
back in
then,
like the Napster days
I was
and
gonna
like
say back then you didn't know it was wrong. Everyone back then did, everyone gave their computer a virus at some point.
it was like before LimeWire, but Napster was definitely around.
I remember Napster,
um
but
oh, I love the prom episode.
it makes me like it warmed my little heart when they were like class protector and they gave her the little umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, sorry, anything that made Sarah Michelle Gellar feel
Well,
good.
the whole speech, it makes me emotional because I'm
I
like,
know,
oh, they noticed her.
because she thought she went her whole life, or well, those 3 years unnoticed, just saving everybody, and no one paid attention to her. So, yeah, I like that episode too. Crap, there's been one episode we haven't liked.
You're like, yep,
It's
I
all
like that
because
one.
of her
Nope, I like
hair.
this one. Yep, I like that one.
Um,
um, and the finale, I really like.
I like when she's like, "You want to come?" Like with the knife when she's playing with the mayor. She's like,
Faith.
"No, Buffy." She's like,
Oh,
stuck it in, stuck it in her, and
yeah. When she calls him Dick,
yeah, that's
well, his name is Richard, so she didn't really curse.
it made sense. Yeah, because I did not like the mayor.
A lot of people love him as a big bad. He wasn't my favorite. Like when I think of the big bad of season 3, I always think of Faith as the big bad, even though she
I
really isn't.
I love when they were trying to come up with ideas of how to kill the mayor, and Cordelia's like, What if we get a big, uh,
Box and write asbestos on it.
or like something with germs, or like
Or, yeah,
chase them with
Ebola.
it?"
She said write Ebola on
I was like, "You and I probably have the same kind of ideas because that would have been mine too. Let's just chase them with germs."
it.
So
During that whole battle when the whole senior class was fighting the vampires, we saw a few people die, some sideline characters.
Harmony,
I remember seeing Harmony get bit, and then I
but you
just
didn't
assumed
see
she
her.
was dead. It never like occurred to me that she would come back as a
Yeah,
vampire.
I mean, because
Which,
someone took the time in a battle to suck her blood, give her
mhm.
blood. I'm like,
I mean,
it had
we've
more
seen
important.
vampires be selfish on the show.
That's true. He probably went, "Ooh, she's pretty."
Larry, we saw him die. He died pretty quick. He
He
got hit by the
did.
snake tail.
I know.
Um,
I didn't like Larry at first, but that's because Larry had a
See,
secret.
they killed off the first gay character on the show.
It's like by by the tail. Of all the things to kill him, it had to be by the tail.
I was really nervous Cordelia was not going to make it out of that.
Oh, I was too. I was like, did they kill Cordelia Chase?
I was like, sometimes the show gets crazy and they like to do stuff crazy things in finales. I didn't know who was going to survive.
I would have been okay if Xander wouldn't have.
They were never going to kill
I
Xander.
know.
Although I questioned it in season 7 when they poked his eyeball out. I was like, this is the end, huh? Anything goes.
But that's all. when it's the last season, that's kind of given. They're like, okay, they'll probably kill someone, and so I think it's more surprising if they survive. But
um,
I like when they're signing yearbooks at the beginning of the season 3 finale. We don't make any sense how we jump around these episodes. We were just finishing the fight scene. I'm like, remember when they were signing yearbooks at the beginning? And Willow's like,
in the building we just said blew up.
Yeah, she was a tramp. She made a lot of money. I'm gonna miss her.
Oh, the episode I love is The Wish. Like the alternate universe, and you get to see
Yes.
Vampire Willow and Vampire Xander.
That's the one time I didn't like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Really?
I didn't like how they had her dressed. I was like,
you don't like how she was dressed? I don't like her bangs.
Well, I just feel like she wouldn't.
And I just got finished saying this is my favorite season.
I know there's some of the way she was kind of just. Maybe it's because I'm just used to seeing Buffy in lots of color, just seeing her dark there. I mean, that's, I guess, the point.
I mean, yeah, it was the point of the episode.
But she just resembled Kendra too much. So I was like, okay, so they're showing us what would happen if, like the way she dressed, like her hair was in that. It's like, oh, so if Buffy would have
very simple. She didn't have anything that she didn't need.
If Buffy would have just been
essential.
If Buffy would have just been training her whole life like Kendra had been, this is what, how she would have turned out.
Did she also have like a weird scar, like around her eye?
I think so.
Or her lip or something.
But Vampire Willow. Whoa.
I like the episode.
That's when I like Xander. I like Vampire Xander.
What was the episode where Vampire Willow came into their universe?
Doppelganger.
I like that episode.
That was a good episode.
I like when at the end when she pinches her butt and she's like, I think I'm kind of gay. Which was foreshadowing.
But I do like when they send her back. And it's like, oh, I'm back. Oh,
and she dies right away. Yeah,
I know.
So it back to The Wish, where we first see Vampire Willow, when her and Xander kill Cordelia in that universe. I thought that was it. I thought it was the end. Because that
end of series,
that was essentially a Cordelia-centric episode, and then they killed her in the alternate universe. So I'm like, well, what's gonna happen?
She kind of got another episode like that in Angel with Birthday or whatever, where she got like her wish of being a famous actress.
Oh, I remember that.
I love anything. Cordelia Chase is my second. Like, it's Buffy, Cordelia. Don't you?
I love Cordelia. I also really love Anya. Like,
I like Anya, but I feel like she's just kind of
no, she cracks me up.
She's from Now to Know. That's why you love her.
No, I love her because she cracks me up.
I just felt like she was like, oh, Cordelia's left. We need a Cordelia replacement. Anya.
Yes, she was supposed to be that outspoken, blunt, no filter character.
I'm not saying I don't like Anya. I do like her.
But I felt like she was more comedic than Cordelia. I don't know. Cordelia was funny too. I don't know. They were funny in different ways.
They were so similar, but so different. Like, I guess Cordelia's more that catty kind of comedic belief, and Anya was just kind of like that.
Oblivious.
Yeah. Season 4 is a season I don't think a lot of people like it.
So this is my
I love season 4.